The gravedigger grabbed my arm as I walked away from my father's casket. "Sir." His voice was low, urgent. "I need to tell you something." "Not now." I tried to pull away. My mother was waiting by the car. The other mourners were dispersing. I had a eulogy in my pocket that I'd barely managed to deliver without breaking down. My father was dead. Raymond Mercer, 66 years old. Heart attack, they said. Found him in his study 3 days ago, slumped over his desk. Gone before the paramedics arrived. I had spent the last 72 hours planning a funeral, comforting my mother, and trying to hold myself together for my wife and kids. I didn't have time for whatever this gravedigger wanted. "Your father paid me," he said. I stopped. "Paid you for what?" The gravedigger, a weathered man in his mid-50s with dirt under his fingernails and eyes that had seen too many burials, leaned closer. "Paid me to bury an empty coffin." The world tilted. I felt dizzy, unmoored, like the ground beneath my feet had suddenly turned to water. "Stop joking. My father is dead. I saw his body at the viewing." "You saw what he wanted you to see." "That's insane. There was a viewing. People signed the guest book. My mother kissed his forehead." The gravedigger pressed something into my palm. A key. Small, brass, with a number stamped into the head. 17. "What is this?" "Don't go home." His voice dropped to a hiss. "Go to Unit 17, storage facility on Route 9. Your father left instructions." Instructions? He died of a heart attack 3 days ago. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Come home alone." I stared at the message. Something about it felt wrong. My mother never texted like that. Short, commanding, no greeting, no honey or sweetheart like she always used. The gravedigger saw the screen. His face went pale. "Don't," he said. "Whatever you do, don't go home. Not yet. Go to Unit 17. Now." "Why? What's going on? Is this some kind of sick joke?" "Your father said you'd ask questions, said you were a lawyer, always needing proof." He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope yellowed and worn. "He gave me this 20 years ago. Told me to give it to you if I ever had to deliver the key." I took the envelope. My name was written on the front in my father's handwriting. 20 years ago? "He's been planning this for a long time, son. Whatever's in that storage unit, he wanted you to find it. And whatever that text message means," he nodded at my phone, "your father was afraid of it, afraid enough to fake his own death." He turned and walked away, disappearing between the headstones. I stood alone at my father's grave, holding a key in one hand and an envelope in the other. The coffin behind me was empty. My mother's text glowed on my phone, and nothing in my life made sense anymore. I didn't go home. I don't know why. Instinct, maybe? The look on the gravedigger's face? The wrongness of my mother's message? Or maybe it was the envelope. I opened it in my car, parked at the edge of the cemetery, hands trembling so badly I could barely tear the seal. Inside was a single sheet of paper, covered in my father's handwriting. "Julian, if you're reading this, then Marcus has given you the key, which means I've had to disappear. I know you have questions. I know you're confused, angry, probably convinced this is some kind of elaborate prank. It's not. Everything I'm about to tell you is true, and I'm sorry, sorrier than you'll ever know, that I've had to keep it from you for so long. Go to Unit 17, Route 9 storage. The key will open the door. Inside, you'll find everything you need to understand. But Julian, and this is the most important part, do not go home. Not until you've been to the unit. Not until you understand what's happening. If you've received a message from your mother asking you to come home, especially if it sounds wrong or out of character, do not. Go. They have her. They're using her to get to you. I will explain everything, I promise. Trust no one except the woman at the storage facility. Her name is Patricia. She's expecting you. I love you, son. I've always loved you. And everything I've done, everything has been to protect you and your family. Go to Unit 17, now." That I read the letter 3 times. Then I started my car and drove to Route 9. Route 9. Storage was a sprawling complex on the outskirts of town. rows of corrugated metal units, security cameras, a chain-link fence with barbed wire on top. At the front office, a woman was waiting. Julian Mercer. She was in her late 40s, professional, with sharp eyes and a posture that suggested military or law enforcement. She was wearing civilian clothes, but something about her screamed federal agent. Patricia? Agent Patricia Holloway, FBI. She flashed a badge, then pocketed it just as quickly. Your father said you'd come. Follow me. Wait, FBI? What does the FBI have to do with my father? Everything will be explained, but not here. She glanced at the security cameras. We're being watched. We need to move. She led me through the maze of storage units, past numbers 1 through 16 until we reached a unit at the very back of the complex. Unit 17. Use the key, Patricia said. I inserted the brass key into the padlock. It turned smoothly. The lock clicked open. I lifted the rolling door, and my father stood up from a chair inside. Julian? He looked older than he had at the viewing, more tired but alive. Unmistakably, impossibly alive. Dad? I know this is a lot, but I need you to come inside and close the door. Now, before anyone sees. I stumbled into the unit. Patricia followed, pulling the door down behind us. The space was larger than I expected. Not a typical storage unit, this was a fully equipped safe house. A cot in one corner, a small refrigerator, computer monitors showing security feeds from multiple locations, a wall covered with photographs, documents, maps, red string connecting different points like something out of a conspiracy thriller. And in the center of it all, my father, Raymond Mercer, the man I had buried an hour ago. How? It was the only word I could manage. Sit down, son. He gestured to a folding chair. This is going to take a while. I sat. My legs wouldn't have held me anyway. The body at the viewing, whose was it? A cadaver from a medical school. Same height, same build. The funeral home was compensated to not ask questions. He paused. I've been planning this for months, Julian, ever since I found out Victor Crane was getting out of prison. Victor Crane? Who is Victor Crane? My father exchanged a look with Patricia. Then he took a breath. He's the reason I've been lying to you for your entire adult life. The story took 2 hours to tell. In 1995, my father was 37 years old, a successful accountant with a growing practice and a roster of wealthy clients. One of those clients was a man named Victor Crane. Crane ran a legitimate import-export business on paper. In reality, he was one of the most powerful money launderers on the East Coast, cleaning cash for organized crime families from Boston to Miami. My father didn't know this at first. He just saw the numbers, the deposits, the transfers, the shell companies. It took him 6 months to realize what was happening. By then, he was in too deep. I could have walked away, he said. Could have pretended I didn't see anything. That's what most people would have done. But you didn't. No. I went to the FBI. He nodded at Patricia. She was my handler. 28 years old, just made agent. They assigned her to me because no one thought the case would go anywhere. It went somewhere, Patricia said. Your father wore a wire for 2 years, gathered enough evidence to bring down Crane's entire operation, hundreds of millions in laundered money, connections to 6 different crime families. In 1998, I testified. My father continued. Crane was convicted. Sentenced to 30 years. He paused. I was supposed to go into witness protection, but the FBI convinced me the threat was over. Crane would die in prison, they said. His organization was dismantled. I could live a normal life. And you believed them. I wanted to believe them. Your mother and I had just gotten married. We wanted children. I couldn't imagine raising a family and hiding, always looking over my shoulder. So you stayed. I stayed, changed some habits, stayed vigilant. But as the years passed, I let my guard down. Crane was in prison, his people had scattered. I thought it was over. He stood up, walked to the wall of photographs. Then, 3 months ago, Victor Crane was released. The photo showed a man in his late 50s. Silver hair, cold eyes, the face of someone who had spent 25 years in prison planning revenge. Good behavior, my father said bitterly. 25 years instead of 30. And the day he walked out of that prison, he started putting together his plans. Plans for what? For this. He pointed to another section of the wall. Photos of our family. Me, my mother, Celeste, Emma, and Oliver. My blood went cold. He's targeting us? Everyone, the entire Mercer family. He's had 25 years to think about what I did to him. 25 years to plan his revenge. My father's voice cracked. He wants to kill everyone I love, Julian, and then he wants to kill me, slowly. How do you know this? Patricia stepped forward. We have informants inside his organization. When Crane got out, he immediately started reaching out to old contacts. Within a week, he had assembled a team. Within a month, he had a plan. A plan to what? To murder your entire family, she said flatly. Your mother, your wife, your children, all of them, with your father forced to watch. I felt sick. Literally sick, my stomach churning, my head spinning. That's why I faked my death, my father said. If Crane thinks I'm dead, he might lose interest, might decide revenge isn't worth it if his target is already gone. But the text from Mom, my father's face darkened. That's why I told you not to go home. They have her. We don't know for certain. But that text, it wasn't her. The phrasing was wrong. No greeting, no warmth. Your mother would never text like that. So Crane's people are probably at your house right now, waiting for you to walk in. I pulled out my phone. Called my wife. Celeste answered on the second ring. Julian? How was the funeral? When are you coming home? Where are you? At your parents' house. Your mom invited us for dinner after the service. We're just waiting for you and her to get here. My heart stopped. Mom isn't there. No, she said she had to run an errand after the funeral. Asked us to go ahead and let ourselves in. A pause. Julian, is everything okay? You sound strange. Celeste, listen to me very carefully. Take Emma and Oliver and leave that house. Right now. What? Why? I can't explain, just trust me. Get the kids and go somewhere public. A restaurant, a shopping mall, anywhere with lots of people, and don't tell anyone where you're going. Julian, you're scaring me. I know. I'm sorry, but I need you to do this. Now. A long pause. Then, okay, we're leaving. Call me when you're safe. And Celeste, don't go back to our house either, not until you hear from me. I hung up and turned to my father. Celeste and the kids are at your house. Crane's people might be there too. They're not. Patricia was checking something on her phone. We have surveillance on the Mercer residence. 2 men arrived about an hour ago. They're inside, waiting. Waiting for what? For you, or your mother, whoever shows up first. Where's my mother? My father's face was grim. That's what we need to find out. The next 3 hours were a blur of activity. Patricia called in her team. 6 FBI agents who had been monitoring the situation from a distance. They set up a command center in Unit 17, tracking Crane's movements, analyzing the threat. We learned that my mother had been taken from the cemetery parking lot. Security footage showed a black SUV pulling up next to her car, 2 men getting out, one of them putting something over her face, chloroform probably, and bundling her into the vehicle. They took her to draw you out, Patricia explained. Crane knows the funeral was fake. He's not stupid. He knows your father is still alive. How? We're not sure. Maybe he has someone inside the funeral home. Maybe he's been watching longer than we realized. She shook her head. It doesn't matter. What matters is that he has Vivian, and he's going to use her as bait. So what do? We give him what he wants, my father said, quietly. Dad, not you, me. He stood up. Crane wants revenge on the man who put him in prison. That's me. If I turn myself over, he'll let your mother go. You can't know that. I know Victor Crane. I spent 2 years listening to him through a wire. He's cruel, but he's also practical. Killing a 62-year-old woman doesn't satisfy his need for revenge. Killing me does. This is insane. You can't just... Julian. My father put his hands on my shoulders. I've spent 25 years living with the guilt of what I did. Not testifying, that was the right thing to do, but putting my family at risk, letting you grow up without knowing the truth, watching you build a life that could be destroyed at any moment by a monster I helped create. You didn't create him. No, but I poked the bear and then pretended the bear didn't exist. He smiled sadly. This is my chance to make it right, to protect you, your mother, your wife, your children, to finally end this. Patricia stepped forward. There might be another way. We both turned to look at her. Crane wants a confrontation, fine. We'll give him one. But on our terms, not his. The plan was dangerous, risky, the kind of thing that works in movies and gets people killed in real life. But it was the only plan we had. Crane's people had been traced to an abandoned warehouse on the waterfront, an old shipping facility that hadn't been used in years. Perfect for a man who wanted privacy for his revenge. My father would go in first, offer himself in exchange for my mother, keep Crane talking while the FBI moved into position, then, at the right moment, the agents would breach the building, arrest Crane and his men, rescue my mother. What's my role? I asked. You stay here, Patricia said, with the command team, monitoring communications. No. Julian, that's my mother in there. My father is risking his life. I'm not sitting in a storage unit watching it happen on a screen. Patricia looked at my father. He looked at me. He's stubborn, my father said. Gets it from his mother. I can handle myself. I'm not a child. No. You're a corporate lawyer who's never fired a gun in his life. Then give me a gun and tell me which end to point. My father smiled. For the first time since I'd entered Unit 17, he looked like the man I remembered. Proud, fierce, unafraid. Fine. But you do exactly what I say. And if things go wrong, you run. You don't look back. You get your wife and kids and you disappear. Dad, promise me, Julian. I wanted to argue, wanted to tell him that I wouldn't abandon him no matter what. But I saw the look in his eyes, the same look he'd had when I was a child and he was trying to protect me from something I was too young to understand. I promise. The warehouse loomed against the evening sky, a hulking silhouette of rust and decay. We approached from the waterside, using an old drainage channel that led to a service entrance. My father went first, unarmed, hands visible. I followed with 2 agents staying in the shadows. The interior was vast and dark, lit only by industrial lamps hanging from the ceiling, and in the center of that darkness, surrounded by half a dozen armed men, stood Victor Crane. He looked exactly like his photograph. Silver hair, cold eyes, the patient stillness of a predator. And beside him, bound to a chair, was my mother. Raymond Mercer. Crane's voice echoed through the empty space. I knew you weren't dead. The funeral was a nice touch, though. Very dramatic. Let her go, Victor. This is between us. Between us? Crane laughed, a harsh, ugly sound. You took 25 years from me. 25 years in a concrete box, thinking about everything you stole from me, my business, my reputation, my life. He stepped closer to my mother. You think I'm just going to let you walk in here and negotiate? I'm not negotiating. I'm offering you what you want. Me. Take me and let my family go. Your family? Crane's eyes swept the warehouse. Your son is here too, isn't he? Hiding somewhere in the shadows. I can smell his fear. My blood went cold. He's not here. I came alone. Don't lie to me, Raymond. I've had 25 years to learn patience. I can wait all night. He pulled out a gun and pressed it to my mother's temple. Or I can start shooting and see who comes running. Stop! The word tore out of me before I could think. I stepped out of the shadows, hands raised. I'm here. Don't hurt her. Crane smiled. There he is. Julian Mercer, the son, the legacy. He gestured to his men. Bring him to me. 2 of Crane's thugs grabbed my arms, dragged me to the center of the warehouse. I was thrown to my knees next to my father. Now this is better, Crane said. The whole family together. Almost. Celeste and the children are long gone, my father said. You'll never find them. I found you, didn't I? I found your wife. Crane shrugged. I'll find them eventually, but first... He raised his gun. First, I'm going to make you watch your son die, the way I watched my empire die, piece by piece, person by person. Victor, wait! No more waiting. Crane aimed the gun at my head. 25 years is long enough. I closed my eyes, thought of Celeste, Emma, Oliver. I'm sorry, I thought. I'm so sorry. The gunshot was deafening, but I didn't die. I opened my eyes to chaos. FBI agents pouring through every entrance, flashlights cutting through the darkness, voices shouting commands. Crane's men were scrambling, some trying to fight, others trying to flee. And Crane himself was on the ground, clutching his shoulder, the gun knocked from his hand. Patricia stood over him, her weapon still smoking. Victor Crane, you're under arrest. My father was already at my mother's side, cutting her bonds, pulling her into his arms. Vivian! Vivian, are you okay? She was crying, shaking, but nodding. I'm okay. I'm okay. Raymond, you're alive. I'm alive. We're all alive. I knelt beside them, wrapping my arms around both of them. My parents, alive, together. Around us, the FBI was securing the scene, cuffing Crane's men, calling for medical support, photographing evidence. It was over. 25 years of secrets, of fear, of looking over his shoulder, and it was finally over. The aftermath was complicated. Victor Crane was charged with kidnapping, attempted murder, and a dozen other offenses. This time, there would be no early release for good behavior. He would die in prison. My mother spent a night in the hospital for observation, but she was unharmed, shaken, traumatized, but physically okay. My father had to answer questions, lots of questions. The FBI had sanctioned his faked death, but there were still procedures to follow, reports to file, bureaucratic hoops to jump through, and there was me. Why didn't you tell me? I asked him, 3 days after the warehouse. We were sitting on the porch of a safe house watching the sunset. 25 years, Dad, you could have told me the truth. And what? Burden you with it? Make you live in fear the way I did? He shook his head. You were a child when Crane went to prison. I wanted you to have a normal life, college, career, marriage, children. I couldn't give you that if you knew. So you lied. I omitted. I protected. He looked at me. Julian, every choice I made, every lie, every omission, every secret was to keep you safe. I know that doesn't make it right, but I need you to understand. I never stopped loving you, not for a single day. I was quiet for a long time, thinking about my own children, about what I would do to protect them. Would I lie? Would I fake my own death? Would I carry a secret for 25 years if it meant keeping them safe? Yes. The answer was yes. I understand, I said finally. I don't like it, but I understand. My father reached out and took my hand. Thank you, son. 2 years have passed since my father's funeral, the funeral where he wasn't dead, the funeral that changed everything. I'm 38 now. Still practicing law, though I've shifted my focus. Less corporate work, more pro bono cases for families in crisis. The experience changed me, made me realize what really matters. My father is 68. He and my mother sold their old house, moved to a smaller place on the coast. They're happier than I've ever seen them, free, finally, from the shadow that had hung over them for a quarter century. Celeste knows everything now. I told her the whole story, start to finish, after Crane was arrested. She was angry at first, angry that I had kept her in the dark, that I had put her and the children at risk by driving to that warehouse. But she forgave me, because that's what love does. It forgives. Emma is 8 now, Oliver is 6. They know their grandfather was sick for a while but got better. They don't need to know the rest. Not yet, maybe not ever. We have Sunday dinners at my parents' house. My father grills steaks while my mother plays with the grandchildren. We eat together, laugh together, tell stories about nothing important. Normal family stuff. The kind of stuff I took for granted before I learned how easily it could be taken away. The Gravedigger, Marcus Webb, sent me a Christmas card last year. Glad everything worked out, it said. Your father is a good man. Take care of him. I framed it, put it on my desk as a reminder that sometimes the people who save your life are strangers, that sometimes the truth is hidden for the right reasons, that sometimes the dead don't stay dead, and that's okay. That's more than okay. My father and I talk every day now, not about the past. We've exhausted that subject, turned it over and examined it from every angle. We talk about the future, about my work, his retirement, the kids' school plays and soccer, games, normal father-son stuff. Last week we were sitting on his porch, watching Emma and Oliver chase fireflies in the yard. I never thought I'd have this, he said quietly. Have what? This. Peace. A family that knows the truth and loves me anyway. He looked at me. A son who forgave me. There was nothing to forgive, Dad. There was everything to forgive. I lied to you for your entire life. I put you in danger. I made you think I was dead. You did it to protect me. That doesn't make it right. No, but it makes it understandable. I put my hand on his shoulder. You're my father. Whatever you did, whatever secrets you kept, you're still my father, and I love you. He didn't say anything, just reached up and squeezed my hand. We sat there in silence, watching the children play as the sun sank below the horizon. A family. Together. Alive, that's all that matters. Thank you for listening to my story. I know it sounds impossible. A father faking his death. A gravedigger with a secret key. A crime boss seeking revenge after 25 years. But it happened. All of it. And I'm sharing it because I think there's a lesson here. The lesson is this. The people we love will sometimes keep secrets from us. They'll lie to us, hide things from us, make decisions without consulting us, and in the moment, it can feel like betrayal. But sometimes, not always, but sometimes, those secrets are kept out of love. Those lies are told to protect us. Those decisions are made because the person who made them couldn't bear to see us hurt. That's what my father did. He lied to me for 25 years because he loved me too much to burden me with the truth. I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying you should forgive every lie, trust every secret keeper, accept every omission, but I am saying this. Before you judge, try to understand. Before you condemn, try to empathize. Before you walk away, try to see the love behind the lie, because sometimes the person who hurt you did it because they couldn't stand to see you hurt worse. And that's a kind of love too. Now I want to ask you something. What would you do if you found out your parent faked their death to protect you? Would you be angry or grateful? Would you forgive them or never trust them again? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another story. I'll see you in the next one. It's Sunday morning now. The kids are still asleep. Celeste is making coffee. My phone buzzes with a text from my father, coming over for breakfast, bringing Mom's famous pancakes. I smile, text back, doors open. An hour later, we're all sitting around the kitchen table. 3 generations, pancakes and syrup and laughter and love. My father catches my eye across the table, winks. Not bad for a dead man, he whispers. I laugh. We all laugh. And life, beautiful, complicated, miraculous life, continues.